adventures.
Greetings all, it's Chuke here from Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Well, I have enjoyed doing this series on brown and grizzly bear attacks, sometimes black bear attacks, and they've been happening a lot this summer and fall and late fall in Alaska and in the lower 48, particularly in, I guess, the Yellowstone area, Montana, Wyoming, even Idaho. And I have been talking smack about certain agencies and biologists and wildlife officials, and I appreciate the comment I got from a guy who is down there. I forgot if he was in Montana, but he said he is a biologist and he does work for one of these agencies I was talking about, and he says, they're not all leftists, it's a complex issue, and there's less amount of grizzly bears down there than we have for sure. And he made some good points. So I am not that familiar with that part of the country. I do have an uncle who has a ranch in Montana and caught my first brown trout there. Very excited. But yeah, it just seems like it's becoming a problem. I don't know if humans are encroaching on the bears' territory more. I think the bears are reproducing more. Up here, it's definitely an issue, but it always has been. I talked to a nurse who worked at the Native Hospital here in Anchorage 30 years ago, and bear attacks were very common, brown bear attacks. People would just get medevaced in from rural areas and they'd just be torn apart by these grizzlies, like literally torn apart. And we've had a lot of really sad stories. Unfortunately, that guy that was killed 2 weeks ago from Sitka, he was killed on Baranof Island or something like that by a brown bear. The brown bear dismembered him, so he did have a deer that he had killed. There was some speculation on whether he had left it overnight. He stayed around the carcass too long, came back for it, didn't pack it out right away, but it did kill him and dismember him, which is just a horrifying thought. So it's awful, and it's been a sad year. So some of these articles will say bear attacks are very rare. That doesn't seem to be the case these days, because we've had multiple attacks on this continent. This summer and fall alone, we've had 2 deaths at least. There might be more starting in this summer in Alaska. One was a polar bear and another just this recent brown bear. And I think there might be more, but we've definitely had multiple attacks where people got chewed on, could have easily died. And it's just a theme that keeps happening. And then we come to the whole bear spray versus pistol and firearm, and that's just kind of really frustrating for me. But a couple more articles I was emailed, and thank you to everyone who's sending me messages and emails with these articles. It's just fascinating. These incidents keep happening. So this is from themeateater.com just the other day. So this is November 4th, 2024. An elk hunter is lucky to be alive today after he was forced to use his own hunting rifle to defend himself from an adult grizzly in a remote portion of eastern Idaho. So another one in Idaho. Dylan Carter, 27, told Meat Eater that he didn't doubt the bear's intentions when it appeared in front of him just a few yards away. So it was like 5 yards away. He made eye contact with him and he knew he just had to raise his rifle. Now this is interesting. He used his 7mm .08 Remington rifle, and he shot the bear once and then he had to get around the bear, so he shot it a second time. He wasn't sure where he had hit it, but it looks like it was just below its right eye. So I've said it before, people have accused me of saying that pistols are the best defense. No, they're not. A hunting rifle is your best defense, and really a 12-gauge shotgun with slugs is probably the ultimate bear stopper. And we saw that on Kodiak this summer when that guy, shot the bear right through its jaw with one slug, 12-gauge slug. So this story was really interesting because the bear was rolling around on the ground. It was still kind of kicking, so he shot it again, but it was basically point blank range with a 7mm .08 rifle. So wonderful story. I'm glad the guy survived. Then the article goes on to talk about, well, no, it's this other article. So, there was another article talking about 3 grizzly bears have been killed this summer in the lower 48, and just complaining about how people are using firearms, and it just goes on to talk about bear spray. But what is really just a slap in the face is this article that was just put out recently by Explore Big Sky, and it's published 1 week ago, October 30th, and it's just ridiculous because you know, it's got this picture of a hiker, Explore Big Sky, and it is talking about bear spray's proven edge, effective non-lethal safety in the wild. And it goes on to say that bear spray is better and firearms just cause problems. And it talks about a study. It says a 2010 study, and I believe it's referencing the one out of Brigham Young University because it talks about that a little. Yep, Brigham Young University. They keep bringing up this same study, another article where they say that, you know, the bear spray is 1,000,000 times better than firearms. And it does say, well, sometimes the bear spray can spray back in your face, but that's very rare. Well, it wasn't rare this fall when those elk hunters did it and they sprayed themselves with it. 2 different attacks in the lower 48, and the guys said firearms all the way. That's how we saved our lives. And one of these times, the bear spray failed because it sprayed on them. It didn't affect the bear. They had to kill the bear with the firearm. Another time, that guy that got his leg chewed on, and he said that if he would have used bear spray, he wouldn't be alive anymore, because people kept telling him, why didn't you use bear spray? So this article is just ridiculous. I can't even read it. It's just infuriating. Now, I'm not anti-bear spray. It is a good tool, and it can be a deterrent. I always tell the story about my uncle. A black bear was walking at him on the trail. It wouldn't turn around. 20 yards away, he just sprayed a big cloud of it. The bear sniffed and ran off. That is much different than a bear a few feet or yards away running at you and attacking. In that case, there's a good chance that this would do nothing. It's good to have both. I mean, Chuke from Alaska Ballistics carries both. I always flag myself with this. He carries bear spray and firearms. On certain hikes, I will carry both as well, but I always carry firearms. Now, a lot of times a hunting rifle or a shotgun are just going to be too heavy if you're out fishing or going on a mountain hike. Sometimes I just don't like that. I'm a big fan of the 10mm because you can get more shots off quicker, definitely underpowered when you compare it to the 44 Magnum and the big bore revolvers. 454 Casull I really like. This is my Springfield XDM, the 4.5-inch Elite model. I really like it. Carries 16+1 rounds. And these are just tanks. It shoots whatever I feed it, hard cast, 220 grain. It's never jammed on me. Just like the Glock 20. Now I'm switching to the Glock 29, little shorter one. I like that one. And then I really hope this guy is good. This is the Dan Wesson Razorback 10mm 1911. Solid 1911, kind of high-end 1911. So I really hope that that is reliable. But carry firearms and bear spray, people. These articles are just driving me insane. It is a narrative they're talking about over and over. And I'm truly believing that a lot of these people, they don't want us to own firearms, period. So the narrative is bear spray in bear country, firearms bad. You're killing these endangered bears. Well, the bears are killing people, literally. So that's all I have to say about it. Unfortunately, these articles keep coming up. So every Friday morning, I got a new one. It's a pretty sad situation, and stay bear aware. I think the biggest thing is stay in groups, because these attacks where the guy was saved, even if he had a firearm, a lot of times he would have still died if his buddy didn't shoot the bear off of him. So hunt in groups, absolutely. And be very careful, especially if you have a carcass on you or you're hauling meat. So thanks for tuning in. I'll have another 10mm video up in the morning tomorrow. It's Chuke, your friend in the field.
Chuke. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh no, I'm getting shot by a bear, but I don't care, I got a 10mm. Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Watch you all die every